You've been dying a lot to duos and trios, haven't you? Don't worry, me too. But I say, no more. No more. Running solo into drops can be tough, but I've come up with a loadout as well as some tips that I think are going to help most beginner level players who can't access the in-game weaponry or they just don't have the funds to. And honestly, you can run these guns and tips up against some of the legendary weapons and they will still smack some peepees. Not all, but some. The first thing that you need to do is have the first tier of the Khorlev faction armory unlocked. You gain this with faction reputation from completing Khorlev missions, tasks, and selling items to this armory. At level 3, you will unlock the Scrapper. This is my favorite low-level gun. It is perfect as a first piece to your solo loadout. An SMG is perfect for close to mid-range quick damage, and pound for pound, it beats the tits off of the rusty PDW that you can pick up from the main trader in the center of the space station. For 3 key reasons. The PDW does not allow attachments to be equipped, and basic attachments are going to make you much more deadly and accurate. The Scrapper has 1 more point of damage, and most importantly, the Scrapper has 5 more penetration points. These 3 features of the Scrapper are crucial in quickly dispatching other prospectors and will allow you to take down a player without reloading. The primary attachment that you must include on this gun is the red dot sight. After that, your focus should be to reduce recoil, so muzzle brakes, grips, etc. will get the job done without spending too many K marks. This weapon alone already gives you an edge that should drastically improve your survivability, but I encourage you to take it a step further, so long as you have the K marks for it. The next gun is the obvious OP starter weapon, and that is the C32 bolt action rifle. I recommend adding this to your loadout with some attachments that'll reduce recoil, but with the change to the sight. Equip this one with the 2x scope. This will allow you to keep aggressors at bay from a distance, which is the key to running solo. The more distance you can hold between you and an enemy squad, the better. When you're in a squad, you can have members of your team running different builds to cover any situation that you may encounter, but if you're by yourself, you need to be able to take care of whatever predicament you find yourself in. Having both of these weapons equipped with the attachments allows you to take out enemies before they get too close with the bolt action, but if you are inside of a structure or you stumble right upon a group with, accidentally, you can utilize your Scrapper to effectively wipe the chads in front of you. But there is much more to increasing your survivability when solo than just your weapon loadout. What you carry in your bag is extremely important as well. One item in particular has been just a game changer for me, man. But to be honest, the biggest game changer for you, if you want consistent guides, news, and updates on the Cycle Frontier, even after the beta's over, consider subscribing. As a partnered Cycle creator, I have much more content to show you that you have not seen, and a new subscriber is the best way for me to tell and track that my content is actually good. A like wouldn't hurt either, saying I was watching or something. Now, while solo, I usually recommend bringing the craftable uncommon backpack from the workbench. Use it to carry out as much as you can, as well as the rare chest and helmet armors. But if you don't have the materials to do so, running the standard backpack and armors will be fine. But you do want to include at least 1 full square of light ammo, as in 250 rounds, and at least 30 rounds of heavy ammo for your bolt action. On Fortuna 3, depending on your situation, you could potentially be on planet for over an hour, which is nuts, by the way. The last thing that you want to do is be alone with no ammo. You should bring either 1 med kit or at least 3 stems for heals. Everybody has their own preference on that one. But most importantly, I don't bring grenades. I don't bring smokes or gas. The throwable that has gotten me out of many hairy situations is the audio decoy. This is the best throwable for a solo player. I mean, if you haven't used it yet, when deployed, it plays a gunfire loop that players can't distinguish as real or fake, which segues us right into our next section of what will actually keep you alive during a drop. You can rock the weapons and backpack loadout that I do, but if you're not doing these things, it won't matter. You're gonna die every time. I cannot stress this enough, but your main objective in the Cycle Frontier is to successfully complete extractions. This isn't Warzone, Apex, or Fort Fart. You only progress in game if you get out with the new gear, mission items, and everything else that you've gathered along the way in a drop. Now, if you're Hoss Delgado cheat clapper, then by all means, man, knock squads in your mama's basement, okay, Kimusabi? But if you are struggling to progress and dying a lot, evade, and play smart, man. You should not take on duos and trios unless you have no choice. That's when the loadout comes into play. When you're pinned down and fully aware that you will more than likely be flanked using their numbers, which is a common strategy that squads use, toss an audio decoy to take their attention off of you for a moment so that you can escape with your hard-earned loot. Next, you want to draw as little to yourself as possible. This means taking routes with cover when you can, keeping quiet in contested areas, and moving slow. For keeping quiet, the prime example here is extracting minerals. Running the uplink station or laser drill is completely out of the question. If you're not in a squad, don't do that. I died countless times from the amount of noise I've made mining nickel out in the open. You do not need to do this. There are several locations around the map that can muffle, if not completely mute, the sounds of mining. Caverns are a great place to start, but my two favorite locations to mine when solo are the waterfall entrance. Right here behind the Waterfall Labs, you can find nickel, velasite, as well as the extremely valuable Titan ore here. The other location is the mine above the dig site, though this does require the mine access key, which you can usually find in jackets and safes. You can shut the door and basically block off the sound while you mine tons of Titan ore, coming out every time with at least 10,000 K in K marks. Did I say that's too many Ks? Now, you also need to move slow, and I mean really slow. The smart solo player walks most of the map and crouches when approaching an area that is likely to have players, stopping every once in a while just to listen. The common duo and trio have a higher confidence in their numbers and will sprint across the map, making them fairly easy to hear coming if you're paying attention. The hard part is, even if you think you have the drop on them, restraining yourself from engaging. You probably didn't think in a loadout video that I was going to tell you not to use it, but don't use it. Not unless you have to. If I am pretty positive that they're going to find me or they're coming in my direction and I have nowhere to go, that is when I engage. Now, the bane of my existence in the Cycle Frontier, and I presume I'm not alone here, is greed. And I can't keep track of the amount of times I was solo and looked at my backpack and said, you know what? I could fit a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Just one more structure. Then pop. I would have been able to make it to the extract with what I had, but I end up losing all of it because I wanted more. The rule I go by now that has saved me countless hours of frustration once I have all the items for even one of my active missions, or if I've gathered up enough resources that are worth more than 5,000 K marks, I extract. I don't try to hit big locations along the way. I just head straight to the extract and I get out. The worst feeling in this game is getting all of your needed items to complete multiple missions and contracts at one time, only to lose it all and not be able to complete even one. This will quickly drain your resources and your confidence in raid, and you'll be dropping into Fortuna 3 with nothing but a backpack in no time. Just play smart. When you get into a squad or have a large amount of resources to expend, then you take your risks. But for now, the best thing for you to do is to play smart. Then check out this video here. Do not even think about hopping into Fortuna 3 before learning the stuff about the Cycle Frontier in this video. Right here. This one right here.